how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. A fantastic day to each one of you present here. How are you all doing? Hey, this question is for each one of you to answer. How are you all doing today? Nice. I always love speaking to an audience who's doing great. Well, I'm here for a reason. And the reason is to talk. Talk to an audience that is ready to indulge in my talk. Now that I feel that you all are here for me, let me start off with an incident that really changed things for me. Let me tell you about Kishore, an amazing friend of mine. He was an extrovert and always loved speaking to people and being with them. One day, he was eating his lunch. Another friend of him hadn't bought his lunch. So Kishore gave up his lunch and said he just wasn't hungry. Another day, Kishore gave up on a family vacation that he was looking forward to so desperately just because his teacher asked him to stay back and help execute an event. Kishore just blew my mind when he took up the blame of bringing cigarettes to school when it was actually his other friend Manu who had bought it to school as a part of his dare. Kishore even got suspended for a whole week for this. Kishore seemed to be happy helping others while he punished himself by going out of the way for others. The initial quality that I adored started troubling me. So I went to Kishore and I asked him, Kishore, why are you doing this? He says, if you have to be liked by people, you have to do what they tell you to. I definitely wasn't happy with the answer. So I told him, Kishore, you have to be liked for who you are and not what you've been doing for them. They'll take you for granted. Kishore was in no position to listen to me. He went on with his life the same way. Anyway, I also let him go because he genuinely seemed to be happy with who he was and others liked him too because he would go to any distance for them. But something unfortunate happened. Kishore met with a terrible accident and was in no position to walk for 3 whole months due to his fracture. Anyway, he wasn't worried though. He thought his friends would take care of him and would be just fine. The next day, he returned to school. Everyone was super upset about his condition. Everyone wrote motivation quotes on his bandage. Kishore was very happy with the motivation, but that joy was temporary. Over a few weeks, Kishore's friends started drifting away from him as he wouldn't provide them with anything like he used to. He wasn't hurt by this too. Kishore suddenly stopped getting thank yous and instead heard about his not so appealing face and body being bullied in the worst language he had ever heard. Kishore was broken at once. The most cheerful person became quiet and sad all the time. He was now considered Bane and he was kept apart. Once Kishore knew he was no more the center of attention, he lost his confidence. He became cold and distant all the time. Forget pleasing others. He wouldn't even speak to his friends with the most basic smile. Now some of you might think, why did Kishore change so much? I believe the answer is simple. Kishore was so busy pleasing others that he forgot the existence of his own self. For the longest of time, he did not give time to understand what he needs and thought pleasing others was the only way to find joy. Having your self-esteem as low as Kishore, you really might reach a phase where you're burnt out and don't want to do anything more. Hey, by sharing this story, I'm not urging you all to stop helping others. That is the last thing I would want out of someone. By sharing this story, I'm urging you all to remember to take care of yourselves first. Your happiness, your reason for good mood, your confidence should all come from within. And if you constantly depend on others for this, your happiness is not guaranteed. Because you see, money in your own pocket is not safe. And you wanted to keep it in someone else's pocket and expect them to take care of it, a really long shot, right? With that, I want to ask you all a question. How many of you have been doing this? Let me actually see how many of you have been keeping others over yourselves. I don't know how many of you guys are honest, but you guys are not alone. Like the character in my story, Kishore is not the only one in this planet. There are millions of Kishore among us who, in pursuit of impressing others and making others feel comfortable, they lose out on their own comfort. They lose out on their own joy. They lose out on their own personality And if this happens on a constant basis, they lose out on the individual they are. It is really important to understand who you are. It is very important to understand what you want. It is very important to understand what kind of life you want. And you can only understand this if you look at life from your point of view and not from others' point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, please help others, and also remember, helping yourself first is very important. As I already told, how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. Thank you.